Okay, so you want to make them regret losing you. Forget all the petty games, forget the desperate pleas. We're going to break down a really powerful, kind of counterintuitive strategy for handling a breakup that puts all the power right back where it belongs, in your hands.
So listen to this. The whole idea we're diving into today makes a really bold claim. It says there is one single action, one thing you do that changes everything, that makes someone who left you suddenly start thinking about you a lot.
That's the million-dollar question, right? What is this one powerful move? Well, it's a process. And you know what? It all starts with a very, very difficult first step.
Here's the game plan. First, we'll cover that one powerful move. Then we're going to get into the psychology of why it works so well. From there, it's all about making that internal shift and kicking off your level up era. We'll even talk about what to do when they inevitably come back and what the real win actually looks like.
All right, let's get right into it. Part 1, the powerful move. This is the foundation for everything else, and I'm not going to lie to you, it is the hardest part, but it is absolutely critical.
So here it is. The move is to completely, totally disappear. And this isn't a game. It means no contact at all. No texts, no calls, no peeking at their stories online, and definitely no asking your mutual friends how they're doing. You have to commit to absolute silence.
So right now you're probably thinking, okay, but why? Why does this actually work? And that brings us to our second section, the power of absence. See, this isn't just about ignoring someone. There's some really fascinating psychology going on here. Think about it this way. When you're always around, you're kind of like air. You're essential for sure, but people just take you for granted. The second you disappear, though, you create this vacuum. Suddenly your absence is way louder than your presence ever was. And that's when their brain finally wakes up and goes, wait a minute, where did they go? And here is the most crucial part of this whole thing. This is not about manipulation. The point of disappearing isn't to play some mind game to trick them into coming back. It's to create the space you need to heal, to fix yourself. And ironically, it's that self-focused energy that ends up being so magnetic. Which leads us perfectly into our third section. See, disappearing from their life, that's the external part. But the internal shift you make is just as important. It's all about controlling the narrative, both in your own mind and with everyone else. Just look at the difference here. Most people, they get stuck on the left side. They keep the breakup alive by talking about it over and over. But all that does is drain your power. The strong approach, over on the right, is to just shut it down. You starve the drama of oxygen, and you send a signal to yourself and to the world that you are moving on. And here's the exact script you can use. It is so simple, so powerful, and it works every time. You don't owe anyone a big, long explanation. Just, I'm focused on other things now. That's it. It's calm, it's final, and it ends the conversation. It reclaims all that energy for what really matters. And what really matters is section 4, your level up era. Now that you've created all this space and quieted down the noise, it is time to get to work on you. This is the fun part, the active transformation phase. It's all about real, tangible actions. You start working out, you learn something new, you reconnect with friends who actually appreciate you. But the key here, and this is non-negotiable, is that you are doing all of this for you, not for them. You're just becoming the person you always wanted to be. And this is what always happens. When they eventually see you again, maybe it's in a photo, maybe you bump into them, they're expecting to see someone who's a wreck. But instead, they see someone who is just thriving. The shock of that realization that you're not just okay, you're actually happier and better off, that's the moment that regret hits them like a ton of bricks. And that brings us to the final boss battle, the ultimate test. Because after they see you're thriving, yeah, they almost always reach out. So section 5 is all about how you handle that moment without losing all the incredible progress you've made. First things first, you need to know what to look for, and we call them breadcrumbs. These are those lazy, super low-effort attempts to get your attention. You know, the random hey text at 2 a.m., a like on a photo from 3 years ago. It's a test. They're just seeing if you're still on the hook. So, how do you pass this test? You've got 2 amazing options. The strongest one? Don't respond at all. Their low-effort message gets a 0-effort response. But if you really feel like you have to reply, you keep it super brief and completely uninterested. I'm good, thanks. No questions, no emotion. You're busy, you have a life. I just love this quote because it says it all, doesn't it? Remember this. Breadcrumbs are for pigeons.
You're not a pigeon. You've been building up your self-worth this whole time. Don't go settling for scraps from someone who wouldn't give you the whole meal.
Okay, this brings us to the final and honestly, the most important part of all of this. Because after all this work, we need to be really clear on what winning actually looks like. And spoiler alert, it might not be what you think it is.
Here it is, the big plot twist. After you've disappeared, after you've healed, after you have completely leveled up your life, you get to the point where they finally realize what they lost, and they come running back, full of regret. And you might just find that you don't even care.
And why is that? Why, after everything, would you not want them back? Well, the answer is simple, and it's pretty profound.
Because you changed. You've built a life that's happier and stronger and so much more peaceful without them. The amazing new person you've worked so hard to become, they realize they don't actually need that old chapter of their life back. The truth is, you already won. The second you chose yourself over waiting for them, that was the victory.
And this just sums it all up perfectly, doesn't it? The real win isn't about them regretting it. It's about you being indifferent to it. It's getting to a place of such solid self-love and happiness that whether they're in your life or not, just isn't the main event anymore. You are.
So we're going to end on this question. The power was never really theirs to begin with. It was always yours to give away. They had their shot. So the real question now is, are you finally ready to fully choose yourself?